Hey, what's up guys? This is Andrew with Zero Tolerance in Kershaw here at SHOT Show 2020. I want to show you what we've got for this year. Up first, we have the Zero Tolerance 308. So in a lot of ways, this is a love letter to the fans. You know, in the past, this is kind of what we made back in the day, and a lot of people really liked it. And so we are expanding the line to include different lifestyles, and so we have some knives that are definitely different than this. But we all wanted you to know, like, we hear you, we haven't forgotten you, and we haven't forgotten our roots. So this is the 308. You got a titanium frame lock on the back. Both the front and the back have full 3D machine texture, so you'll be able to get a really good grip on that. It's a 3 3/4 inch blade, 20 CV steel. This is a Zero Tolerance original design. If you see this logo on some of the new Kershaws or ZTs, that just means it's done by our in-house team. We've had an in-house design team for a while, but upper management wanted to highlight that more recently, which is really awesome. We have a steel pocket clip that works on the front as well as the back, and you can see we have the 3-hole configuration so that if you like your aftermarket clips, this will work great with that. Coyote Tan G10 on the front, also 3D machined with a steel liner underneath. We've got 3 tube spacers on the back. Really solid construction on this knife. Opens with KVT ball bearing washers. It's got a steel lock puck for that longevity of the lock bar, and also this pivot nut back here is designed so that you can take it off with a 1/2 inch standard size wrench, so that you can take it apart in the field. You don't need a custom screwdriver or anything for that, just a regular standard 1/2 inch wrench on that. That's the 308. Okay, so for the first time, we have a Kershaw butterfly knife. This is the Kershaw Lucha. You got a 4.5 inch blade, 14C 28N blade steel. We've got 410 stainless steel handles on there, 4 ball bearing washers on this, so it's really fast as far as butterfly knives go. This is a knife that, as we developed it, we took a lot of time talking with flippers and trying to understand what they wanted in a knife. So we have something that's pretty well balanced and has a lot of really great details. The blade flares at the end, so you get a little more weight there. There's a lot of weight relieved out of these handles, again, for balance. We have the latch in the back that's contoured so that it won't stick as easily. It should jump out of the way if you choose to keep it on there. And even some small things like just the chamfers here along the edge make it a lot nicer so that when you're flipping it, it's not going to be cutting into your hand. So that's the Kershaw Lucha. Looks pretty much the same on the front as the back. This also is a Kershaw original design, and we're really, really happy to be bringing it to the show this year. So for our 2 automatics, I am going to talk about these separately, but first I want to bring them out together. In the past, our automatic knives have either been about 3.5 inches, so pretty large for automatics, or we've had the California Legals. And we found that the California Legal knives were really good and sold really well even outside of California, just because of the size. But a lot of people have mentioned that, you know, they are pretty hard to get a grip on, and they're small knives, so they're good to use for sure, but it might be nice to have something with a little bit more purchase. So we have 2 knives here that kind of bridge that gap and are kind of in the middle. We have the Launch 11 and the Launch 12. The Launch 11 has a 2 3/4 inch blade, CPM 154 blade steel with a black wash finish on it. It is a USA made automatic knife. You can see as well we have a titanium trim ring in there with a bronze anodized finish. We have 6061 aluminum on the front as well as the back that's been machined. This too is a Kershaw original design. I'm really proud of that and happy with how it turned out. We've got an inline clip here, really slim and minimal, that'll work on the front as well as the back. If you look at the top on that spine right there, we've got our typical integrated backspacer, and we even have left a slot here so that if you like to tie lanyards on this, you can fit it around that integrated tube spacer in the back. So that's the Kershaw Launch 11. The Launch 12 is a matte diskin design. It's the baby brother to the Launch 8 that we released last year. So everything that you like about the Launch 8 is in this, it's just more compact. We have 2.5 inches of CPM 154 blade steel, 6061 aluminum anodized black, carbon fiber inlay just on the Launch 8, just like on the Launch 8. Inline clip works on the front and the back. This too, USA made knife. Really, really happy with how that turned out. The best thing about this one for sure, I think, is the action. Because that blade is so light, it really cracks open. Really, really great action on both of these knives. But the lightweight blade on this really makes this a great option. So copper has been really hot in the past few years. And so we wanted to do it on the leak. We've done a lot of different variants of leaks, but this one has copper on it. So as you carry it, as you use it, that copper is going to develop its own finish unique to you and your experience. We've got a CPM 154 blade on this. You know the leak, but it's got copper now and CPM 154 steel. Also USA made. Great knife. It's the iconic Kershaw, now in copper handles. Okay, we got 2 more USA Kershaw knives. We have the Link. Obviously this also has been out for a while, but we're bringing it to you with fresh new handle scales and with 20 CV, CPM 20 CV blade steel. This is a knife that's gonna MSRP at about 130, but you're getting 20 CV blade steel, which is what we normally use on ZTs. Really great blade steel at a really killer price. Kershaw original design, opens with speed safe. We also upgraded it to a deep carry pocket clip. A lot of people have been asking for that, so that's a really great feature on this knife as well. That's the Link. We also upgraded the Dividend. I'm really happy about this. The Dividend is probably my favorite, personal favorite USA made Kershaw that we make. Opens with speed safe, great blade shape. But we have CPM D2 on this now on the edge. We have a composite blade with this tooth pattern that kind of calls back to the old warbirds of like World War II, you know, with the faces painted on the planes. And that fits really well, I think, with the anodized green aluminum handles and the new look that we put on that. We also gave a deep carry pocket clip on this. And if you take a look at that pocket clip, it really is super, super deep carry. Will definitely disappear in your pocket. And that's one of my favorite things about the Dividend. It's so slim overall. It's definitely a really good everyday carry option. And now it's got a really crazy new look and some upgraded blade steel. So that's the Dividend. So that's what we've got on the USA side for this year. Up next, I want to show you guys 4 import knives that we've made. And these, on all 4 of these, they have upgraded steel and some other features that make them stand out, to be sure. So up first, we have the Kershaw Tumbler. This is based off of Dmitry Sinkovich's Headley design. And what's really nice about this is the details and the weight. We've got G10 carbon fiber combined handles on the front as well as the back. So it's really lightweight, definitely a great knife to carry with slacks. And it's a really classy looking knife too. The details I think really help to sell this. That machine texture on the carbon fiber on the top and then the pivot. Really, really great details on this knife. For the handle scales, we've done this before in the past where if you imagine that like the handle is a cake, you've got several layers of G10 and then on the top, that icing on the cake is the carbon fiber and then it's machined away. So it's not glued on. And as you can see with this one too, with those grooves machined into it, it's a part of that composite material. This opens with KVT ball bearing washers and has D2 steel, which is a nice upgraded feature. It also has a steel subframe lock, so it's really lightweight, but you're still going to get that secure lockup that you want. Also features a deep carry clip that is reversible. That is the Kershaw Tumbler. Up next, this is probably in my top 5 Kershaws that we're bringing to the show this year. This is the Kershaw Highball, an import knife, a Kershaw Originals design. It's just beautiful. It looks really slim, opens on KVT ball bearing washers with that groove in the blade. Just a lot of fun to play with, a really slim, elegant knife. Steel frame lock handles. We've even got a thinner lock bar slot in there, which is something that you see a lot on custom knives. A small detail that makes it feel more high end. And I think that's the thing about this knife that really sells it for me. There's a lot of small details on here, like the chamfers on the handle, the fine jimping on the spine of the blade, the finish on the blade, the pivot collars, and even there's a chamfer on the lock bar too, so that it's a knife that when you hold it, it feels high quality. It feels really, really great in the hand. Really a great option there. That's the Kershaw Highball, also with that D2 steel. We have the Kershaw PayUp, also a Kershaw Originals design. What I love most about this knife is that it has a pretty crazy look overall and the handle's pretty crazy, but most people that I've talked to can find a place for their fingers on there. So it's actually surprisingly ergonomic, which is really nice. Also D2 steel on this blade, and it's a pretty good sized blade too. We've got a steel bolster over that speed safe pocket, machine G10 on the back. We also have several anodized aluminum parts on this, pivot collar, tube spacer, over travel stop on the back. The small details really help tie the knife together and give it a refined look. We also have a deep carry pocket clip that flows seamlessly into the back of the handle. Really happy with that and how that turned out. So yeah, that's the Kershaw PayUp, another D2 higher end Kershaw import that we're bringing this year. All right, the last one that I want to show you guys is the Kershaw NORAD, a really eye-catching knife. Also has D2 steel and that machine groove in the blade. This one opens on KVT ball bearing washers, and one of the best things about this knife, it is a hidden flipper knife, and there's a very, very minimal flipper on there, but you can still get really good purchase on that. The jimping on it gives you really good grip on it when you open, and then when the blade's in the open position, it just disappears into the handle. Really, really nice feature on this knife. Steel handled frame lock, as you can see, front and the back. We even have, you see how this kind of dips down? A lot of times with knives that open with ball bearing washers, that detent is really important, and it's crucial to keep your fingers off the lock bar. So we've given a little pad here and even called it out with the carbon fiber inlay so that you kind of know when you're opening it to leave your fingers on that pad, and it helps you keep them off the lock bar. We've got a custom pivot on the front and the back, as well as that deep carry clip. Carbon fiber inlays, really, really great knife. Feels very high end. Yeah, that's the Kershaw NORAD. So yeah, I know that was kind of a whirlwind, but thanks guys. Really glad to have you here, and we hope you have a great year.